welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the BoshNRoll Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or listen sideboard guides before tournaments, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership program. This channel is possible because of these amazing sponsors. Check them out, all their links are in the video description. As always, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic.
Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Legacy, and from Patreon subscriber Damien, this is Rector Stompy. Damien is a old school Nick Fit player who enjoyed Rector Fit, a deck that uses Veteran Explorer and Cabal Therapy to eventually work its way up to Academy Rector, but wanted to explore a new space and kind of normalize the experience. One of the big issues with Nick Fit as a strategy is when your hand either does not contain Veteran Explorer or has Veteran Explorer but not a way to sacrifice it quickly, the deck is kind of a mess. So Damien went looking for a deck that can do more normal stuff while working its way towards the Rector things. If you're not familiar with Rectors, Academy and Arena are the two Rectors. They're both 4-mana 1/2 human clerics. If they die, something happens. Academy Rector, when it dies, you may exile it from your graveyard. If you do, search your deck for an enchantment and place it directly into play. And Arena Rector is the same thing, but for Planeswalkers. That's why, here at the top end, we have Kaya Intangible Slayer, Ugin the Spirit Dragon, Overwhelming Splendor, Sandworm Convergence, and Nicol Bolas Planeswalker as big stupid stuff we could hurl out of our deck into play. The primary sacrifice outlet in this list is Flare of Fortitude, an instant that you can cast for free by sacrificing a non-token white creature, which happens to be the Rectors. There's some flavor text on this, which is until end of turn, your life total can't change, and permanents you control gain hexproof and indestructible. That's a powerful ability, but it's not really what we're playing it for. We're playing it so we could sacrifice a Rector at instant speed uncounterably. And then the more normal side of the deck, we have a Ancient Tomb, Chrome Mox, Creature, Stompy, Prison adjacent game plan. We've seen this all over the place with decks like Red Prison, Boros Initiative, White Initiative back in the day, Sea Stompy before that for the old heads out there. These are just Magic cards that are not surprising in Legacy at all. I did tune this up a little bit. Damien's original version had a full playset of Sphere of Resistance in the main deck, and I was extremely concerned about trying to resolve one of my 4-drop creatures with Sphere of Resistance in play, and then also sacrifice it somehow before I get disrupted. As with a single Sphere of Resistance in play, the 4-mana play of Rector and Hold Up Flare of Solitude, or just sack it immediately, becomes a 6-mana play. And 6 is a lot more than 4. 4 is already a lot to ask in a game of Legacy. So I switched some of them to Thorn of Amethyst, which only affects some of the cards in my deck and only a little bit, but it's still mean versus the people it needs to be mean against. Archon of Emeria I also added as a disruptive element, and Anointed Peacekeeper. These are cards, especially the Peacekeeper, which is the one I went the full 4 of. This could see exactly what we're up against, and we get to know what banger to tutor for, if the coast is even clear for a Rector. And if we're not set up to go for a Rector, Peacekeeper and Archon can both slow down the opponent until we stabilize and figure out where we're going with the game. There's a Saga chugging away in the background. It has a sack outlet it can tutor in Witch's Oven, and we can just make some constructs and beat down if the game's not going anywhere else. I also tuned up the sideboard quite a bit. Damien had a bunch of answers to cards like Leyline of the Void, because Rectors don't work versus Graveyard Hate. They have to die in order to trigger, then they still have to be in the graveyard when the trigger resolves to get all the parts of it, which means a Leyline of the Void, Arrest of Peace, Surgical, Fairy Macabre, Scavenging Ooze, whatever. All of those work to disrupt Rectors, and Damien had a bunch of ways to clear those sort of things out of play to continue Rectoring. I just put 4 Seasoned Engineers in the sideboard. If my opponent wants to have Leyline of the Void in play and Surgical Extraction in their hand, I'll just play a Seasoned Engineer and win a different way. There is still Lauren of the Third Path, which can be tutored with Recruiter of the Guard. That's 4 ways to clear a Leyline if we still want to go that route. I added Swords to Plowshares and Solitude to the deck. Damien's original build had no traditional removal. It was all Angelic Purge, which is sack a permanent, destroy target permanent for 3 mana as a sorcery. which I like what he's going for. The sacrifice a permanent part of it is exciting. But if you think about destroying Leyline of the Void, you could do better than 3 mana for that in Legacy. And if you sacrifice a Rector to kill the Leyline, the Rector's already in exile before the Leyline dies, and that doesn't actually do what you want. Plus, if you don't have something like Rector in play, what permanent do you want to sacrifice? Maybe I have a random food token laying around, but my permanents are all really good, so I don't really want to do that. And I think this juke will be extremely effective. And there's an extra bounty on this league that Damien threw in right at the end after I had already accepted the project, which is if I 5-0, Damien will send me a playset of misprinted Ponders. Apparently that's something that Damien has, and I like Ponders, I like misprints. Would be sweet to collect that. That's a big reason why I put so much work into this list. I've done my best with the premise, and let's see if we can convert. This is Rector Stompy. 3-for-1 Trading is having a New Year sale that starts on Wednesday, January 8th. Their online store has a fantastic selection of high-end Magic cards, especially for vintage, legacy, and old school players. Go to shop.3for1trading.com or use the QR code to sign up on their site and be the first to know when their promotion starts and new deals go online. I'm on the play in round 1. I am going to keep this hand. It doesn't have the Chrome Mox to go into the Stratosphere, but I do have Soul Guide Lantern to fend off graveyard nonsense. Like, Oops All Spells isn't going to cheese me here. And then I have my choice of prison donkeys I could deploy. Soul Guide Lantern on the stack. Opponent's on a Multa 6. Mystery Enforced. It's not Oops All Spells. Unless they built their deck very poorly. Basic Forest. Zenith. Okay, so probably Nadu would be my guess. Do I want to keep the piece or Archon? I think I want to Archon. That makes developing very difficult. Like a fetch land at this point takes roughly 8,000 years to actually produce mana. And if this is a Nadu deck, they'll need blue and white mana before they start doing stuff. And these 2 forests they haven't played don't do that. This mana dork probably does, though, that they're about to get, for sure. Okay, Halfling confirmed. Chrome Mox. Well, that's not going to be my spell for the turn. Plains, Peacekeeper. Let's get a look over there. Teferi and Nadu both in the hand. I don't really care about Teferi. I could name Nomad's Encore. Wait, does Misty Reinforce work with this? Activated abilities cost 2 more. Okay, so I can name any card. I haven't played with a lot of Anointed Peacekeeper. I'm normally just losing to it. Snow Plains is in play. Yeah, with the Halfling, that doesn't matter. Okay, I'll name Nadu. We're probably going to lose here. This is a deck that is structurally very good against what we're doing. Though, if I can pivot into Ugin, if I find Rector plus Sack Outlet, I think this deck scoops immediately to Ugin, the Spirit Dragon. Zenith for 3. Alright, well, they've also cast Green Sun Zenith literally every turn of the game. Just zooted a Nadu out the hard way, or the easy way. But they don't have plans to target this Nadu. I'm sure they have plans, but they don't have the ability to target Nadu. There's Recruiter. Can we find a Sack Outlet? Another Archon. Okay. I'm going to play this Recruiter of the Guard and tutor for Arena Rector. I do have a Solitude in the deck, but I don't think that's good or useful. Overwhelming Splendor might be even better, actually. Oh, they can still activate loyalty abilities. Never mind. Yeah, Ugin is the one that I want here. I'll grab my Arena Rector and hope the game goes long enough for me to use it. The best draw in my deck at this point is Phyrexian Tower. We currently have perfect info. Let's see if they just cast Nomad's Encore from hand right now. There's Teferi, we knew about that one. Bouncing my Peacekeeper, which is weird because the Nadu's already in play. Who cares about that card? We know they can deploy Icefang Coatl. Ooh. Ooh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I could just cast this. Well, 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 Mr. Teferi. You seem to have used your loyalty ability. Alright, Overwhelming Splendor. They do have 2 unknowns in the hand. Please don't have a Force of Will. This is such a sick line. And they can't Icefang Coatl to cantrip in because Archon is still in play here. They have to have the counterspell ready right now. How about just don't? No! Okay, cool. The Archon will lock out the Force of Will, the prison part of the deck doing its job here. And this means Teferi's going to die this turn because I could attack my 2/3 and my 1/1 into their 1/1. Or I have a 2/1 flying. Yeah, I don't even need to put the 1/1 into battle. Okay. Shields are up, team. The Archon stuffs this fetch land, which means they have to redraw some of their Brainstorm cards here. Birds of Paradise, another 1/1. This is the point of the game where they have to decide if they're just going to try to fire in with their 1/1s and swarm me for damage, or if they are going to try to answer this Splendor and play Magic normally. Seems they want to play normal Magic. Do I want this Rector in play? Do I want Peacekeeper? I could get a fresh look at their hand. Do I care about their hand? Just play another Flyer. The 3/3 Vig is huge here. I'm a little worried about the Ancient Tombs killing me at this point. Alright, I'd like a fresh look at their hand. What you got going on over there? Brainstorm, Nadu, Icefang, Coatl. I guess I just named Brainstorm here, or I could name Teferi. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. They could play, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. Or no, these don't work. 1, 2, 3. What am I even worried about here? Boseiju? Do they play that? I could just make it harder for them to dig, or I could name Teferi, which they'll basically never be able to use with the mana they have. I'm going to name Teferi. Teferi Time Raveler. And then commence dealing these final 16 points of damage. They also can't fetch here, because they can't activate abilities that aren't mana or loyalty abilities. Literally illegal to fetch. This is blank cardboard that enters the battlefield tapped. I always have to reorient myself to Splendor. I've played enough Rector decks that I've had this in play before. Here we are stopped in their upkeep. And I think they probably clicked on their card and didn't do anything, and then they just passed into their Brainstorm. Another blank piece of cardboard. This Coatl will not draw a card and not have Death Touch if they play it. Oh. The oven. Right in the oven. Alright, I'll attack with Peacekeeper and Archon. They're just taking their beats over there. And my Archon is stopping me from just going off right now. I'm going to play Rector, and I will pass and threaten to go off next turn. And if they want to force this, it's fine. End step, 1/1, no abilities in play. This doesn't look like a natural order build. Okay, yeah. I think they thought their Windswept Teeth would work, and then they thought Icefang Coatl would do something, and none of those things happened, and they just conceded. Cool. All right. We're playing against Nadu. The off-the-top hardcast Overwhelming Splendor doing the damn thing. Containment Priest, Swords to Plowshare is definitely coming in. Thorn of Amethyst, not that good against this creature deck. Soulguide Lantern doesn't do anything. It drew a card that game, which actually did matter. I'm not going to pivot onto the Dungeoneer stuff. Yeah, I think just Swords to Plowshare's Containment Priest and otherwise leave my deck intact is how I want to approach this. Oh, Pithing Needle. Pithing Needle on Nomads and Core. I've heard that's good against their deck. I'll add that one in. Are any of these low impact? Kaya is good if nothing's going on the board, which is unlikely to be the case. I still have Ugin, Nicol Bolas, Sandwarp Convergence, Overwhelming Splendor. I'm going to try to play without Kaya. Kaya, technically castable because I have Phyrexia Tower in my deck, but that's not enough reason to keep her. Let's go. No white mana in my hand, and also my hand doesn't do anything. I will mulligan for all those reasons and more. All right, this one's great, actually. I'm going to keep this bottom Wasteland. We saw enough basics to support Icefang Coatl in their list. Forest, bird. I will plow the bird. Let's take a bite out of crime here. And then Containment Priest comes online next turn. Okay, they have Icefang Coatl mana showing. Cavern on human. Every creature in the deck except Solitude is a human. And every creature in the deck except Peacekeeper can be tutored with Recruiter. Oh, it's a Brainstorm. That's nice. That is not what I thought was going to happen in my end step here. All right, tap out for Zenith. I'm not going to flash in Priest. Okay, another Cavern on human. And I will pass the turn. Okay, they're fetching here. I could Priest so they don't get Dryad Arbor, but I don't think I care if they get Dryad Arbor. That's just a creature I could plow, and they're missing white mana. Yeah, Dryad Arbor just wasn't the plan there. I could continue to hide my secrets. Another Brainstorm. And I'm working my way up to Rector Tower all at once. I'd love it if they just Zenith for 3 here. I would not love it if they just play Teferi. Nadu has been cast. Okay, they're fetching. I'm going to play Containment Priest right now and then plow Nadu. I'm doing this now just in case they spike Dryad Arbor off of this Nadu. All right, it's a Brainstorm, but I would have preferred it to be gone. Force pitching Flusterstorm. Okay, we did play around the Fluster. And am I just smoked here? Do you have the Nomad in hand? Savannah cast Nomad. Smoke him if you got him. Here we go. But weirdly enough, I could still win this game if I draw Chrome Mox. All right, Brainstorm, Force of Will. We know Force blue card in hand at the minimum. Chrome Mox off the top. Anointed Peacekeeper. Okay, I'm going to play out the tower, and then I will keep the piece here. In naming Nomad with this goes a long way, and they can't force it. Consigned to Memory. This is not a trigger, but that does counter my Rector in the future. Windswept Heath. They cannot fetch Dryad Arbor here and get more flips. Containment Priest is stopping that line. Flipped 3 lands and a Consigned to Memory. Pretty good sequence. All right, they just have Swords of Plowshares in their hand. Oh, no, that's the one card I didn't know. Okay. Okay, I'm still going to name Nomad and make them use the plow. Game is weirdly competitive considering I am getting Nadu smoked as a deck. Use the plow, use the archive, and off we go again. Their Nadu flips generated Swords of Plowshares and Teferi Time Raveler, and with the Consigned to Memory in hand, we are out of luck here. It's honestly crazy how even all this comes down to Consigned to Memory. I'm going to concede in a moment here. All right, we're playing Uro. All right. We saw Consign as interaction. Yeah, they just had Nadu Nomad Force blue card in hand, which beats Containment Priest, and they were off to the races. Yeah, I had a solid hand there. I'm not going to be too upset about that. Okay, I think my deck is still my deck. I'm just better on the play. Yikes. Without a Rector, I think I have to mulligan this, even though I do like the Solitude. Ooh, okay. This is a turn 2 Rector. It is completely counterable, unfortunately. I could spend a turn anointing a Peacekeeper. See what they're up to. If I go turn 1 Anointed Peacekeeper, I have to bottom one of these cards. That sucks so bad. Okay. I was just mapping this out like it's a 7, which it's not. If I bottom Urza's Saga, and then exile Witch Enchanter, or I could just play Urza's Saga and go on kind of a fair plan. What does that even look like, though? Do I play more lands or more white cards? How do I want to balance this out? There are 23 lands in the deck. There are 26 white cards. 2 of those white cards are lands also, but one of them's in my hand already. I'm more likely to draw a white card than a land. I really want a Peacekeeper and know what's going on over there. I think I'm going to bottom the Witch Enchanter and just play Urza's Saga here. The fail case is I just start Saga gaming, making constructs. Delighted Halflings in. Come on, white card I don't care about. Yeah, all right, we did it. Played to my outs, got rewarded. Let's see if the game actually works out that way. I'm going to pitch Rector and play Peacekeeper. Force of Will, Nadu, and the Nomad is there. And I got to name Force of Will. This is the plan I made. If I name Force, they might just leave up 2 mana, but that means they're not shoving Nadu. All right, I'm naming Force of Will. I hate to say it, but this deck would love Vexing Bauble. But obviously, I'm trying to do something completely unfair and Mind Twist my opponent for 0 mana. Wow, they went for Nadu. Let's go. Okay, so I'm going to get to Planeswalker here. Chrome Mox off the top. If I search for Pithing Needle and name Nomad's Encore, then they can basically never grind back into this. If I tutor the Witch's Oven, I can keep my Flare of Solitude, but does that matter? Would I rather Needle? Does Needle matter? Can they ever come back from an Ugin sweep? Yeah, I think I'm going to take the Witch's Oven. Rector. They would have had to draw Surgical Extraction or Fairy Macabre this turn to punish here. Moment of truth. All right, it's resolving. Do I want Nickel Bolas? Gain control of target creature. Or Ugin that just sweeps up everything. Yeah, Ugin. And I'm going to attack first. Do I want a plus on Nadu? I mean, I have to -3, so I might as well just attack. Maybe they'll take 3 here to avoid letting me plus. Nope. All right. They made the obviously correct play. I hate when they do that. Ugin for 3. Okay. Hope this holds. Can Nadu beat a turn 3 Ugin on the play? Nomad? Oh. Oh. Another one. Well, that's fun. Okay, I'm going to plus Ugin on this Nomad's Encore. If they want to fetch a Dryad Arbor and redirect the damage, that's fine. Otherwise, this just happens. And we'll see if they drew a force to go with this blue, or a blue card to go with the force in their hand. Because I'm about to have also Nicol Bolas in play. And if they force here, their hand's going to be Bayou Dryad Arbor. My goodness. Let's go. Yes, use the ability. Yes, get Nicol Bolas. Yeah, the Ponder Dream is live. 1-0, keep it rolling. Your path to the Pro Tour starts here. Don't miss Magic Spotlight Foundations, January 3rd through 5th, 2025 at SCGCon Atlanta. Kick off the new year with Magic's most exciting new event. Compete in the brand new Foundation Standard format with $50,000 in prizes, 8 Pro Tour Aether Drift invites, and it's the only place to get the exclusive, borderless Terror of the Peaks promo card with art by the beloved Richard Kane Ferguson. All main event participants will get the exclusive Terror of the Peaks, but the top 128 will also earn a foil version of this breathtaking promo. Your path to the Pro Tour starts here, but only if you're part of the action. Come join me for Magic Spotlight Foundations at SCGCon Atlanta, January 3rd through 5th. Your sign-up link is in the video description. I'm on the draw with a turn 1 Thorn of Amethyst that doesn't go very far, but I think I do want to keep this hand. Ugin's a little wonky, but we saw that I can cast 8 drops earlier. There are certainly decks that this hand does nothing against. I hope I'm not playing against one of them. Forest Crashing Footfalls. Oh, Thorn of Amethyst is actually really good against this deck. Oh, come on, deck. Stop. Okay, well, there's one Planeswalker left I could draw. I'm looking for a Rector before they Rhino me out. Wasteland. Not quite in the market for that at this time. Thundering Falls. All right, wastelanding me. Okay. Scoreboard. Another Plains. Okay, wastelanding them doesn't help me, I don't think, at all. I'll just drop this Plains and hope I can come up with a Rector by the time that matters. As Crashing Footfalls cost 1, and as long as they have any land, they're fine doing that. Oh, well, hello, my sweet lady. I am going to play Wasteland this turn, and then try to do all of it next turn. I could play Rector now and pass, but I don't want it to be easy for them to Force of Will me, and if I draw a Cavern, I got that going for me as well. The Force of Negation doesn't work here at all. I just don't care. Endurance works. End step, Petty Theft, okay. Well, that's back in my hand. None of it mattered. It's all fake. Everything's made up, and the points don't matter. Footfalls, Resolves, Shardless Agent. Oh, wow. Okay. And they tapped all the way out to do this. Please, Cavern of Souls off the top deck, if you ever cared about me. If you ever loved me at all. It's time. Cavern of Souls off the top. Not a Cavern. Okay. Force of Negation doesn't stop this. Force of Will kills me outright, but it is not getting better. This deck can't play Daze. All right. I'll just play Rector. This is really all we got. Yep, immediately force that. Okay, force pitching, Force of Negation. So they did have both. And I still can't really rip any outs to this. Sandworm Convergence doesn't even stabilize at this point. Oh, am I just dead? Yeah, I'm dead for Xaxis. Never mind, didn't matter. All right, showed them just enough to know what I'm doing with my deck. That sucks. Deafening Silence stops some of the stuff they do. Thorn of Amethyst actually really good. Seasoned Dungeoneer risky. Yeah, I like Peacekeeper, I like Archon, I like Recruiter. Soulguide Lantern, sometimes they have a Murktide Regent pivot or use their graveyard a little bit in some ways, but I don't think this card's good enough to have. Deafening Silence doesn't stop them from Shardless Agenting, but it does stop them from violently outbursting, which is the better one. Yeah, Sandworm Convergence is tricky because it is a win con, but it doesn't beat 2 rhinos or 2 cans of rhinos. It does beat 2 rhinos straight up. I don't want to start trying to answer this deck 1 for 1. We've also seen Brazen Borrower, which can answer one of these big dumbos even if I do cheat it out. That's annoying. Kaya has Hexproof though. Okay. We're just finding little reasons to keep hands or keep cards in left and right. I think I'm going to shave a Recruiter. Who has time for that? Let's go. No white mana, but I do have... that's sad. This is almost the nuts. Mulligan. This hand doesn't do anything. I guess it accelerates out of Saga. I will actually keep this. Put City of Traders to the bottom. Maybe Chrome Mox is worse. Saga, Oven, Strata Saga game through them. Wasteland. Yeah, good start. A solid card. Ooh, Archon. Chrome Mox. Force Negation. Alright, someone plays Vintage. I will deploy this Ancient Tomb and pass the turn. Force Pitching Lorien Revealed. Yeah, versus the white initiative deck in Vintage, it is correct to fight over their mana with Force of Negation, and maybe even with Force of Will too. Okay, I might be able to trick them into fetching a non-basic here. Cool. Good sequence. Wasteland you. Okay. Now we're just in full garbage time. I'm looking for a white source. Or no, I'm holding one. All right. They can Force of Will. Oh, Rector. All right. Meadow. Archon. I've taken 1 million damage. Archon does shut down almost everything their deck does. Getting a tap land means they're not forcing here because of Thorn. Okay, here we go. My next mana presents a Rector. They can Endurance through Thorn of Amethyst. Suspended a Footfalls. Oh, come on, deck. This is one of the downsides of a deck like this one, is sometimes you draw your awful big dumbos. And now Force of Will is back on. Chrome Mox, not helpful here. If I drew any of the other dumbos, all of them have color except for Ugin. They fetched a tap Taiga in the end step. They are opening up into 3 mana, which is where Hardcast Endurance starts to be a thing. Yeah, tapped. Untapped basic, just arriving. Alright, Urza Saga. I'll take you. Alright, let's see what they're up to here. Academy Rector. Wow, they just scooped. Don't even want to pretend they have an Endurance. I appreciate the honesty. Cool. Okay, now I'm on the draw, which means they get the first shot across the bow. Yeah, my deck is just my deck. This is what we got. Okay. The Sandworm Convergence isn't pretty, but I've got cards to play. Deafening Silence is a piece of interaction. Anointed Peacekeeper interacts. Cavern of Souls is here. Alright. Shut up. Force of Will pitching Fire Ice. Don't want to play against that one. They must be lining up a turn 2 Violent Outburst if they're worried about that, or their hand just has Violent Outburst in it, in general. Icing my planes? Okay. Well, I was going to have to make a decision whether I'm going to play Ancient Tomb or not, and now I don't. A Cavern on Human. I'm more interested in having the Cavern of Souls if they do have Wasteland. Or I'm more interested in the Ancient Tomb, so I'm playing out the Cavern of Souls. And we're here. They can do stuff now, which is a shame that Ice was right on time. Oh, Minskin Boo. That's so much worse than anything I imagined. And making that cost 2 more doesn't do much. Oh, come on. All right, well, we're probably dead at this point. Their hand is Tropical Island. Minskin Boo, Timeless Heroes named. Okay. I have some concerns. Yeah, I drew both enchantments, which means drawing a Academy Rector doesn't even matter. If I draw Arena Rector, we are still very much in this, though. Oh, wow. A spell. Okay, I'm gonna flare this, which means I don't take any damage this turn, and they don't get to put the creature in the floaty zone, whatever that's called. Adventure. Oh, baby. That's big. Okay, we're suddenly back in this game. Peacekeeper, name Minskin Boo, and I can pitch Splendor to clear Boo, no matter what they do with the Minsk. Okay, Solitude pitching Splendor. Boo's gone. Minsk, they can +6 for 2 mana. Did you draw a banger? Wasteland, that is a banger. Oh no. Yeah, now my Rector doesn't matter. Okay, now we lost. What could I even draw here? Chromox is not it. Attack Minsc and Boo. I'm just gonna chill. Getting soloed by Minsc and Boo actually feels good though, after the year we've had in Legacy of games being decided on turn 2. It's turn 6 and we're still kind of scrapping back and forth a little bit. Ooh, they don't want a race. They just want a big Dumbo. All right. I remain unparalleled skill at drawing the Planeswalkers in situations where it matters a lot. I guess I will continue passing the turn. Attacking me for 4. I will not interact with this. Shardless Agent. Alright, they're sharding like crazy. Sharding all over the place. Footfalls. Agent. If they have a land in hand, they can still Minsc and Boo. If not, alright, Spirit Guide to activate Minsc and Boo. Sacrifice a creature. Alright, well, they have enough creatures that there's not really anything I want to do here. Okay. Handful of cards. I don't think there's any outs left. Nope. Okay. A few too many blanks. Or, nope, there's still... No, there's not, because I could use Flare. I could hardcast Flare, like pitch Kaya, hardcast Flare, survive a turn, but then I don't have Flare even if I rip a Rector, and I can't draw 2 cards that matter here. Is there a 5-mana play that just does stuff? I don't think so. I don't play a Moat. I did think about it. Nope, that'll do. Alright, GG's. The trophy dream is dead, but we play on.
This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks, and groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there.
I'm on the draw in round 3. I'm going to mulligan this hand, even though it does ramp out this Peacekeeper pretty well. Holding the Splendor basically makes this a 1-card hand, and I need to do better than that. Brainstorm is not coming to save me. And there's no sack outlet, so even the Rectors aren't big hits here. This is a hand I'm into. I keep this bottom basic planes, I guess. I could bottom one of the Rectors and keep my mana stable, in case this is a Blood Moon strategy. I'm just going to hope it's not. Mystic Sanctuary tapped. Thorn of Amethyst, let's go. That's a nice follow-up to tapped Mystic Sanctuary as a play. And it turns my hand from a little clunky into a perfect curve out. Thorn of Amethyst resolved immediately. Just didn't even flinch on that one. Meticulous Archive. Tapland theme deck. Dumping a Terminus. You might regret that. Okay, let's see what's in this hand. Cavern on Ombres. Show me the grip. Oh, wow. They're a Leyline Binding deck with Endurance in their hand, and this is what's going on. A Ponder, Brainstorm, Swords to Plowshares are my options here. Them having Ponder and Brainstorm makes me less interested in Swords to Plowshares. Or makes me more interested in Swords to Plowshares. Okay, I will name Swords to Plowshares. And I did stop them from pondering last turn with my Thorn. There's a Ponder. Leyline Binding can answer anything that comes out of a Rector in my deck. Just gotta stay aware of that. Oh wow, Wasteland's good. Attack with Peacekeeper. And I'm just gonna put this Wasteland into play, and your move. See what you fetch in the end step. Nothing seems to be the answer. Okay, draw for turn. Here's the Brainstorm. Did we find a land? Fetching for basic island. This Endurance and Leyline Binding in the hand, still just a disaster. And they seem to have missed a land drop completely. Cool. I'm not going to waste yet. I'm looking for a sack outlet. Peacekeeper, get in. All right, now I'm ready to waste. I don't think this opponent would play on mono blue if they could avoid it. Cavern on human. And I'm going to deploy this Rector. Give away my secrets, but it is a nice distraction. And it adds to the clock. The Rector beatdown is the plan. And now opponent has to live in fear of me ripping a sack outlet ever. Solitude, pitching Swords to Plowshares. Okay. Opponent, this is exactly the kind of play I was trying to bait out. They were just like, hashtag nope. And they killed a 1-2 that, I mean, they couldn't know it, but I know that it doesn't have any abilities. All right, Cavern on Human, keep pumping them out. I have Planeswalkers too. Surprise. Still missing land drops. Still only have one color. Okay, yeah, they had enough. The prison side of the deck was great here. This is a Seasoned Dungeoneer matchup all day, every day. This is what it's in the sideboard for. Thorn's great. We saw at least Mystic Sanctuary. Maybe Uros in this deck. We saw Endurance. Oh, Endurance and white-based removal. How does this pivot? How is it actually going to work here? With Leyline Binding and presumably up the Beanstalk in the deck, I also want Loran. That means who is better and worse? I think the Academy Rector is the worst one because Planeswalkers are way harder for this deck to deal with than enchantments are. And I don't want to be totally off it. I think it's fine. I do also have Silent Gravestone, which turns off their Mystic Sanctuary and any surgical extraction kind of stuff they have. Pithing Needle, we saw Narset. We know they play fetch lands. I don't think I want to bring this in for fetch lands, though. Silent Gravestone can replace what? Do I need all my flares in if I only have 3 Rectors? And giving my stuff hexproof is still pretty strong. Solitude, I saw a non-zero number of creatures in their deck, which means I'm still interested in that. Archon of Emeria is really good against their development. Recruiter of the Guard is a 2-for-1 in a matchup that is kind of about that, and it's more Rectors. I think I am going to cut a flare. Just back off of that package. I can still do it. They still have to respect it, but I also have this whole other angle now that they may not be prepared for. Okay, turn 1 Thorn, path to Rector. All right, I'll keep this. It's risky. It needs mana, but if I draw an Ancient Tomb or any 2 other mana sources over the next couple turns, this is great. Silent Gravestone. Okay, Chrome Mox. I don't think they're going to play Daze. Just running this out here. Pitch a Rector. That is my worst card. Thorn. Beastorm in response. And we're in. The Thorn does turn Rector Flare into a 5-mana play from a 4-mana one. I don't love that for me. This game's going to hinge heavily on whether I rip a mana source right now or not. I did not. Okay. Right, Silent Gravestone. That doesn't stop Endurance, because it doesn't target a card in a graveyard. It targets me and affects my graveyard. And me missing a land drop here, they could smell weakness. If they want to get aggressive about my Chrome Mox, they can. I hope they don't, but they can. Okay, sick. Wasteland. I think I'd rather play a Peacekeeper than actually waste them here. I want to see what's going on. Binding, Plow, Solitude. Okay, handful of removal. None of it stops Arena Rector. Okay, I'm going to name Swords to Plowshares, because I want them to use the Binding. They might be incentivized to use the Binding anyway, because this Wasteland sends them pretty far away from it. But they have 2 forests in their hand. That's not even true. Okay. They can just spend 3 on a Plow right now. Or 2 on a Binding. And taking my Thorn, sure. That was always possible. And let the digging begin. I have near perfect information. Whatever they ponder into will be their secret this turn. Shuffled the Ponder. This means that with Thorn cleared, I actually do have Rector if I draw a mana source. And I did. Okay. Well, there's not a lot they could do here. I'm going to attack with Peacekeeper. Maybe I should have played the Rector pre-combat. Okay, what do I get with Arena Rector? Exile Peacekeeper. Play Arena Rector. They literally can't Force here. They can't Endurance here. Nicol Bolas can destroy target non-creature permanent, and then I get the Thorn back. I don't really want Ugin. Kaya's actually really good here. All right. Here we go. Flare. Did they draw exactly Surgical Extraction off of their shuffled Ponder? Or Consign to Memory? There's a couple things they could reasonably have here. All right, Surgical and Fairy Macabre don't matter. Right, because I have the Gravestone. Okay, Nicol Bolas, destroy target non-creature permanent. Kaya drains or I draw cards. I'm going to get Nicol Bolas. Destroy Leyline Binding, get my Thorn back, slow them down. And then I could just start eating their lands after this. Brainstorm. They got to find Leyline Binding right now. Kaya would have been the one to play around Leyline Binding, but I'd rather win harder, and we did it. Okay. Control decks are exactly the type of matchup I would prefer if I got to pick my matchups here. And it worked. On to the next one. The BoshNRoll channel is proudly partnered with the Resleevables.
Good. All right, here we go, gang.
In this YouTube series, hosts Cedric Phillips and Patrick Sullivan take us on a set-by-set journey through the good, the bad, and the ugly of Magic's history. Each episode is a focused deep dive into the facts about a set's design and release, the Magic lore expressed through the cards in that set, Tournament Edition gameplay videos featuring products and Pro Tour decks of the era, an award show that shouts out the best and weirdest cards of the set, and a final grade for the set's overall success. Whether you want a history lesson or a nostalgia hit, The Resleevables has it at youtube.com/theresleevables. I'm on the play in round 4, a hand with no disruption. I can accelerate this Recruiter of the Guard. I'll try this. I have a sack outlet and multiple tutors for Rectors, and I could pitch Sandworm Convergence to Chrome Mox. Let's hope this is some sort of slow fair matchup where I get to do stuff. And I don't want to expose the Chrome Mox pitching Sandworm Convergence right away. Vault of Whispers. Okay, almost certainly a combo deck. Ancient Tomb, that helps. That means I don't even need to use the Chrome Mox. Okay, Recruiter of the Guard. Okay, which one's better against combo? I can only get Splendor with Academy Rector, which means that Arena Rector's got to be the right one. Okay, Arena Rector, get in my hand, and I'll pass the turn. I can Flare of Fortitude if they just tendrils me out here. The flavor text is the text actually here. I don't really want to get Thoughtseize, that would be a bummer. Anointed Peacekeeper. All right, I'll play out my Rector, and now I can kind of do both. I can Flare at any time. Dark Ritual. Are they going to like block with Opposition Agent? Orcish Bowmaster. Is this something I care about? If this is like Black Stompy. Okay. That's fine. You could kill Recruiter of the Guard. Okay, going face with this ping. Oh, there's more. Another Bowmaster. All right, Ugin, get in here. Sweep it up. Okay, I guess I might as well Flare now then. That saves me a damage. Or no, my life total can't change. It saves me a damage, but they still get Orc Army. Permanents you control gain hexproof and indestructible. Alright, yeah, this changes 1 damage, and I don't think that'll be the game breaker. Okay. I will keep my Recruiter of the Guard in play, though. Alright, get Ugin. And if tendrilsing me out is the plan, I just gave it to them. But if they were setting up a Bowmaster loop with Echo, I just stopped that. Okay. And if they are some fair nonsense Black Stompy deck, I don't know how they get out from under Ugin. So they probably have to combo me out from here, whatever that looks like. And next turn I'll find out with Anointed Peacekeeper if I get a next turn. Okay, Cavern of Souls. Cavern on Human. And then I'm actually going to play Peacekeeper because I can play Recruiter and Peacekeeper. Oh, triple Echo. Look at this. And they just scooped it. Okay. They probably didn't want me to see that hand, but I did. Okay, yeah, triple Echo. This is the Bowmaster Send It Storm thing. Deafening Silence comes in. Loren comes in. The Archon of Emeria and Anointed Peacekeepers in the main are a big deal here. I think the Academy Rector just comes out because the enchantments don't matter here. The Planeswalkers might. This happens. Pithing Needle on Urza's Saga affects both decks. Silent Gravestone. They're not targeting their Echo of Eons, they're just casting it. It actually probably hurts me to have Gravestone in. Swords to Plowshares can fight the Bowmaster. I don't think I want to introduce Seasoned Dungeoneer to this game, though I do have to win somehow. But I guess my lock pieces, Archon of Emeria is what I'm looking for there. Flora Fortitude actually just good in the matchup. I like that. I could bring in some Macabres in case I slow them down to a spot where they have to put Echo in the graveyard but not cast it right away. I think Plow, anticipating a creature juke, is the best thing I can do, though. I think that's better than Fairy Macabre. Okay, here we go. Turn 1 Thorn of Amethyst. If I get a turn 1, I'll keep. And it's not great. We know we're against a deck that could draw 7 on turn 1. But if I have a hand that does literally anything, because so many of my hands will not do literally anything, I'm going to go for it. Okay, they mulled a 5 and had a Leyline of the Void. This is what I was looking for when I built the juke package into the sideboard. Lotus Petal. Is there more? What's going on here? Well, is this last card Echo? Oh my god. It is. All right, well, their hand was insane. Perfect 5. Now we're going to wheel and see what happens afterwards. Okay, my hand is still great, but now they have 7 cards to do stuff with. If I get a turn, I'm cooking. Please just play Urza Saga and pass the turn. Vault of Whispers. Ooh, and they did just pass the turn. Okay. Flare or Witch Enchanter? Witch Enchanter plays as a card here, and I have to exile a white card. I'm going to exile Chrome Mox. I'm going to play Chrome Mox, exile Flare of Fortitude, play Deafening Silence, and then play Urza Saga. All right, chugga chugga. Other plan is in. Maybe I'm just supposed to dump out these Chrome Moxes, because they're going to get wheeled away if my opponent's deck does what it's supposed to do, and I'm not going to exile cards to them at this point. I can't play 2 spells in a turn. Yeah, maybe I was just supposed to play out all 3 Chrome Moxes and not imprint. My Swarm! Okay. They fed their Swarm. Now I feel good about having Chrome Moxes in my hand. Okay. Wasteland. I will play out an extra Chrome Mox here. Yeah, whatever. I'll just dump them out. If I get wheeled, I would rather have bigger constructs. And if Witch Enchanter matters next turn, I could play it. Or I could just make more constructs. I hope their hand is just like 3 Leyline of the Voids. Lotus Petal. Okay, they're passing it. The beatdown begins. Alright, I'm not in the market for a Witch Enchanter here. I will dump out constructs. Soul Guide Lantern, I guess. Gives me the most juice. Cavern on Human. And do they have fatal pushes and ways to stabilize against this? Or are we just running amok here? 7 cards in hand. What could they be that nothing has happened for the whole game? Another Lotus Petal. It's so weird. What's going on over there? Can I draw any artifact? Nope. All right. I don't play very many artifacts, so I'm not surprised I didn't draw one. I'm going to attack for 12. Is it time to chump block? Nope. Not time to do that either. I guess I'll just cast Witch Enchanter then and destroy their Vault of Whispers. I'm not worried about Leyline of the Void. Okay, floated a black. Or 1 life, which shouldn't really matter. If they have the combo, they have the combo. They're not an ad nauseum deck or anything. One of us is dead here. And it's somehow them. Okay. They had basically nut perfect Meld of 5, and then their 7 must have been significantly worse than mine. And they even had the answer to the Deafening Silence, and they just did nothing with 7 cards. Yeah, I don't know what's going on over there. But scoreboard, on to the last round. I'm on the play in the final round with a hand that's really interesting. I am going to keep this. And I think I'm just going to play Phyrexian Tower and pass. Maybe I play the Witch Enchanter. All right, I'm going to play Witch Blessed Meadow tapped and pass the turn. I have a unconventional route to 3 mana on turn 2 here. An MDFC, a Chrome Mox, and a Splash Land that is in the deck for tech and not for the colors it makes. But if they're going to Wasteland me, I would prefer to lose the Meadow. Bellmire, oh great, we're just dead. Thoughtseize. All right. They probably take Anointed Peacekeeper, would be my guess, though the Chrome Mox might just collapse my whole hand. And I guess depending on what their deck is, like Oops All Spells doesn't care about Flare of Fortitude. It doesn't say you can't lose on it, and that's what Thassa's Oracle does. Yeah, it's got to be Peacekeeper or Chrome Mox, would be my guesses. Peacekeeper it is. Can I rip Archon of Emeria? A, am I getting a turn? Is this Oops All Spells, who is now going to Lotus Petal, Dark Ritual, Spirit Guide, GG? Or am I getting a turn, and can I draw Archon of Emeria? I do seem to be getting a turn. Cavern on Human, pretty good. All right, Chrome Mox, Exile Solitude, Cavern on Human, just in case that matters. Recruiter of the Guard, yes. I think I just get Archon of Emeria. Oh wait, no, that is 3 toughness. That's not how this works. All right, I guess I'm getting which Rector. Does it matter? Overwhelming Splendor stops Oops all spells. Yeah, it's Arena Rector. Yeah, the enchantments don't matter here. Well, they know what I'm up to. If this is a traditional, like, Tendrils of Agony style deck, the Flare of Fortitude matters a lot. If it's Oops all spells, they probably just win this turn. They know my whole hand. Unless they have misread Flare of Fortitude somehow. Oh wait, did I just say Overwhelming Splendor does it and then get the wrong Rector? I definitely did. Oh no. Alright, well, that was a punto. I could have even held the Flare until the Thassa's Oracle was on the stack, or the Dread Return or whatever. Yeah, I definitely just outlined the thing and got the wrong Rector. My bad. Okay, this is definitely not Oops all spells, though it's another Black Saga Storm kind of thing. And they know I'm holding Flare. Now I accidentally have the correct Rector. Wow, this deck again, 2 in a row. Weird. Is it back? Did this win a challenge last weekend or something? I don't even know. 2 cards left in the hand. Okay. We're back to my turn. Phyrexian Tower. And Arena Rector. I guess I'm going to Flare for Nicol Bolas. Or I could just hold the Flare. I'm going to attack first. Yeah, Ugin doesn't kill any of their stuff. Nicol Bolas kills Urza Saga. Alright. This might be a mistake. Like, maybe they were just locked by the Flare. But we know they're not locked by the Flare. Because they have Urza Saga, which will eventually win. Right, Nicol Bolas. I could also destroy Chrome Mox. Is that clever or just reckless? Because Chrome Mox takes away 2 mana. And maybe I don't care about Urza Saga that much. Alright, I'm going to destroy Chrome Mox, actually. If they have Veil of Summer, that would have stopped anything I did here. Okay, cool. Alright, I hope that was the right call. We'll find out soon. Saga ticked up. I have to kill Saga this turn and make sure Lion's Eye Diamond doesn't show up. Nicol Bolas goes ultimate at 9. Which means if I leave back Recruiter to block... Alright, they had an LED anyway. Are we dead? Did I give it up by executing what my deck's supposed to do instead of just holding up Flare of Fortitude? Entomb. Alright, well, they're going to draw 7. But so am I. Oh, Beseech the Mirror was the card in their hand. Well, I drew another Flare. This is good. Flare, untap, Thorn plus Peacekeeper, plus Nicol Bolas on Urza Saga. Okay. Hoping for the best here. Thoughtseize me. Alright, this still doesn't work. Alright, well, I'm still going to Flare. Make sure I don't die, at least. They can take the Thorn, they can't take double Peacekeeper. They can't Bowmaster or Tendrils me out here. I don't think this is a Thassa's Oracle deck anymore. I can get an enchantment with the Phyrexian Tower, if I think that's better than Peacekeeping, which I don't. 2 of their Echoes are gone already. One of them was under the Chrome Mox I destroyed. Alright, they did take the Rector, okay. They're not worried about disruption. They are worried about death, which is reasonable, I suppose. Another Petal. Tracking how big this construct can be is important if that actually races Nicol Bolas in a way that matters. I don't think it will, though. Alright, drawing Ugin, you love to see it. Okay. White, 1, 2. I'm leading on a Peacekeeper, because if they don't respond by activating Saga, I just get them. Yep, okay, there's that. They do know how that works. Bell the Profane, destroy target creature or Planeswalker, are you shitting me? Oh no, that's actually really good. Okay, and they have plenty of black mana to do all that. If I... Well, okay, so Nicol Bolas is not going to win this game. I think I should name Urza Saga with this Peacekeeper, and then kill this construct with Nicol Bolas, or gain control of the construct. That's even better. All right, never mind. Okay. This is an instant. 1, 2. All right, yeah, they're not there. Urza Saga is the name. Ancient Tomb, Anointed Peacekeeper. I'm going to name Urza Saga again. Urza Saga, gain control of target creature. And pass the turn. Super weird game, super interesting. They can technically activate Urza Saga here, but it would cost them their entire turn and both Lotus Petals. And I can cast Ugin next turn if I think that matters, but I mostly don't. I don't think it's better than Thorn of Amethyst, but we'll see what happens this turn, I guess. On Lion's Eye Diamond. So I just hope they didn't draw Echo. A massive flavor win. They don't come much more profane than Nicol Bolas. Oh, good job, opponent. Kudos for that. Thoughtseize. All right, my Ugin. Well, are they more worried about Ugin or Thorn? This is actually close. Ugin is basically a glorified lightning bolt, but I can cast it. They took the Thorn. All right. So they're 3, 6. Okay, so that actually kills them. That was a mistake. Attack with all my things. They can't activate Urza Saga. They go to 2. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ugin. Right upstairs. Bonk ya. That was maybe the best game of the league so far. Took game 1 against Combo. Deafening Silence coming in. Academy Rector coming out. I mean, literally the same matchup we just played. I think this is what I did last time. Is this what I want to do again? Seasoned Dungeoneer does kill fast, but we don't need to kill fast. The Flare is actually just good. Okay, here we go. Same plan. On the draw, of course, for game 2, because that's how winning works. And I am actually going to keep this hand. Witch Enchanter does stuff. Okay, opponent with the Leyline of the Voids again. We've seen that. Thorn of Amethyst, a good card in the matchup. I hope Urza Saga makes it a lot better. Okay, I'm going to go Saga, Chrome Mox. I think I'm going to pitch the Recruiter, actually. Because now that I have Saga, my mana's tied up for the next several turns anyway, and Witch Enchanter is a more compelling card in the matchup than Recruiter for me. All right, you got a Saga as well. Petal. Another Petal. Now I have a big decision to make. I could just play Witch Enchanter, take out their Urza Saga, and then I have 1 construct to their 0. I think I am going to do this. Take out the Saga. This is a creature on board, and then next turn I can make a construct, tutor an artifact, and play Witch's Oven. And then I'm presenting the beats. And then they have to combo through Thorn of Amethyst. LED. Delmire, 1 card left in hand. Oh, okay. Another Thorn. I still have to make a construct, I think. Oh, I can tutor Chrome Mox. I can do both. Never mind. You're in trouble. Yeah, tutor Chrome Mox. Exile Rector, that doesn't matter anymore. Cavern on Human. Don't need the City of Traders anymore. You did your job. Thorn of Amethyst. And the beatdowns will continue. Yeah, they tapped a black, then untapped it. Don't know what the plan is with all that. I'm going to play this Witch's Oven just to get some extra power and toughness on the board. And I'll attack for 8. They could have Orcish Bowmaster to kill the Witch Enchanter here, but I'm not going to not do this. Witch Enchanter takes 1. I could make a food and push damage around, but I'd rather kill the Orc army. Yeah, if their last card in hand is the Echo, they might thread the needle here. Big turn. Mox Opal from hand. Attacking with Bowmaster. No intent to block with that one. Fair enough. And I'm just going to attack. Can't do anything. I'm out of mana. Opponent's dead on board. If they chump with this Bowmaster, I think I'm out of the woods. If they chain together Bowmasters until they find an Echo, I'm in trouble. Like, rituals are bad. Artifacts are bad. Entomb, Bowmaster, and Echo of Eons are the cards in their deck that still matter. And there's one right there. Okay. They must have just drawn it or else they would have sent it last turn. Okay, here we go. Now we got to do this. I drew the Plow. Not on time, but I did draw it. Okay, Witch's Oven can eat my construct if they put 6 Bowmaster triggers on that. Or they could just park their 7/7 in front of my 6/6, which probably makes way more sense. Oh wow, they're putting damage on it. Okay, so I can make 2 foods and fizzle 6 of these triggers. Yeah, sacrifice this creature. Make 2 foods. My opponent gets a 1/1. And I can plow the Bowmaster if they keep going. Plow Bowmaster, untap, jam Deafening Silence. And then I got to find a win con again, but Recruiter can start doing that. Spending 2 mana on a Chrome Mox as Garfield intended. Pitch their tendrils. That's not the plan. We're out. It didn't attack with Bowmaster. I will plow that in the end step. Got to take that pressure off. Can I play 2 cards this turn? I don't think so. I'm squeezed under my own stuff. Can't play 2 cards this turn. I have 6 mana worth of plays and 5 things. I'm going to play Deafening Silence and Wasteland and pass. Just investing the Wasteland in case they come up with an Urza Saga, which is now, I think, their best route to victory. Because even LED or Entomb into Echo is now a 2-turn line because of Deafening Silence. Duress. Swing and a miss. They're getting in for 1. I do have 2 foods I can eat at any point. Flare. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Recruiter of the Guard. Begin the value chain. Loran, Witch Enchanter. And if I get Loran, I could start undoing the Leyline of the Voids. Or I could take out this Chrome Mox they just put 2 cards into. Yeah, I'll get Loran. And then 1, 2, 3, cast Loran. Do I want the Chrome Mox or start on the Leylines? I don't think I care about the Leylines. Yeah, I'm just going to deny resources wherever I can. Witch Enchanter is a 2/2, but it would have taken me a turn to cast it. And I'll trade Recruiter for Orc Army if they attack. Chrome Mox, replacing the one I just blew up. Bowmaster remains the best card they could have. Okay, Soul Guide Lantern. That actually does now blow out a multi-turn Entomb into Echo line. I'll take Chrome Mox out of your deck. I don't really care about Duress. And I'm just going to pass. There is a Caracas in my deck that can go off if I find it. I think I have Inevitability here. We're about to find out. 4 mana in the pool. They can just beseech the mirror as Demonic Tutor. Okay. Search with no bargain. I could tap Loran. Is feeding them cards better or worse than feeding me cards? Yeah, let's both draw cards. Swords to Plowshares. All right. Wasteland. Okay. Wasteland. Take out Vault of Whispers. And I have to hold 1 back. I would hate to get clowned by Urza Saga at this phase of the game. A Recruiter. Can we get a trade for the Orc Army, or do you want to go to 6? Opponent's at 6. I'm saving a Plow for a second Bowmaster, which I've been saying for turns is the worst thing they could do to me right now. Played another Vault of Whispers, and what did we tutor for last turn? Helm of Obedience. Okay, that's actually really good. Do you have a mana? Can you have a mana? Okay. That's in. I'm going to have to just draw as many cards as I can and hope to clear that. I'm looking for the Caracas, Witch Enchanter. All right, we're both drawing cards. I'm going to sack this to draw a card. Big draws. Archon of Emeria, that's not it. This Lauren has to just draw another card right now. Caracas, oh my god, we did it. We did it, team. We found the line. Dig till the end. Dig, 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 dig. Just keep digging. Just keep digging. Archon of Emeria. And attack with Recruiter. Okay. There's a block. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana. What could they even do for 4 mana? I don't care about Urza Saga anymore. I'm just going to Wasteland. All right, cool. Found the Caracas at the last possible moment to do it. And the Wasteland actually saved me last turn. They had exactly enough mana to play the Helm but not activate it. I don't know if this deck has a basic land in it. 2 mana for LED. That's your spell for the turn. Stop tapping mana. I have Archon now. Even if you do have Bowmaster, it's under control. Okay, I'm going to attack for 4. They'll probably play Bowmaster, and then I'll bounce Loran. Or they were just goofing and they don't actually have a Bowmaster. Or they'll wait on the Bowmaster until I activate the Caracas, which I'm not going to do. I will not be so easily fooled. Is there something worth recruiting for? Might as well. What else am I doing? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can play Solitude. Let's go. All right, now I have a flash threat. I feel good, team. Wow, they had enough. That was a really good match. 4-1, losing to Rhinos, who iced me on the play into turn 3 Minskin Boo, and still it was close. Like, that was... Listen, Damien, I'm not saying send me the Ponders like I did in Trophy, fair and square, but this was a 4-1 league where the loss was 2-1 and barely a loss on the draw. Nice. Okay. This was a great showing for this deck. I think if we were going to be hypercritical, there's too much Rector going on. I think you should pick Arena or Academy and decide what you want to be doing. And then you can just have a 2 or 3 card package rather than a 2 or 3 card package per Rector, which ends up with 5 to 6 blanks in your deck. I did cast Overwhelming Splendor and Ugin over the course of the league, so calling them blanks, not entirely fair. Sandworm Convergence and Kaya, I think both spent time under Chrome Mox. Like, calling them blank isn't entirely fair, but there was also... It was actually the game that I lost, was the one where I drew like 2 or 3 uncastable Chunkos in a spot where some sort of useful magic card may have actually turned the tide for me. The sideboard felt really solid. I liked the pivot twice. Opponents had Leyline of the Void in their open, and we did see that at least the second one was a Helm of Obedience deck, so the Leyline wasn't just a complete spew. It was actually setting up a second angle of combo. Presumably the previous opponent had it too if they were on the same deck. But still, that like proof of concept, opponents went onto that plan when I cared about it a lot less. That's just good sideboard deck building, good sideboard mapping. The Seasoned Dungeoneers came in once. I didn't play them, but they would have been huge in the matchup. Swords of Plowshares was good. I'm honestly really happy with this. Damien, if you're willing to back off of the Rector theme and just pick one of them, and I would probably pick Arena myself, that opens up 3, 4, 5 slots in the deck where you could like max out on Archon of Emeria or play some other lock pieces. You could even, that make room for Lotus Petal, though I don't think this is the Lotus Petal kind of Stompy deck. You probably don't want that, but you've been working on this deck a long time. I saw you're considering pile on Moxfield. You got like 50 more cards you'd like to play, and if you go to 1 Rector and just build an eject button into a Stompy shell, rather than try to support this double Rector strategy with some Stompy cards, I think you will have a deck that wins more. But even with the deck in front of us, fantastic league, great showing. Thank you for sharing the deck. Everyone else, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, check out the Patreon, and I'll see you next time.